and that's it's been renting. And I mean, I don't make money right now from the house, but at least we don't have to pay from our pocket the monthly payments and the insurance and the taxes and everything else.
I think a break even for some of these is a win for
Well,
sure.
yeah, because it's nothing's all in here. Like for I mean, it take like 6 months if you're lucky. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna keep in, paying interest. So put in for rent and renting, and in a week we have like 20 people asking for renting the house. It's a new construction, so you know.
Does it being new construction and then selling it affect anything? I would assume it's like a renovated home where as long as you punch it out well, no one's gonna have an issue with it.
Yeah, yeah, we have one that we bought it and fixed it and renting. But the only thing we with the new construction we have like 5.5%, and then we move to permanent. They charge 7.5. So that's because we don't make money right now from that property, from either of those properties. But at least we happy that it's been renting and everything has been paid for.
That's great. So, Raleigh, when you say you're buying deeper deals now, can you give an example of what your previous cash on cash was versus what you'd be willing to do now?
Yeah, I just bought one today at a 90% annualized cash on cash. Typically, I'm shooting for 70, 75. Oh, you're on mute, Amanda.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of deals flying around right now. I'm getting a lot of people reaching out to me and deals that um I've initially said no to, and they're coming back like $75,000 less now.
And how much longer are you writing for your full times then? Are you just doubling it or how are you insulating?
Uh no, maybe I should be. No, I'm kind of doing your standard 2 to 3 months full time.
Yeah, I will be honest, I don't know how I haven't underwritten anything recently because I kind of feel like I just want to get these ones wrapped up, but that's not kind of how a pipeline works. So,
It's a funny market. Some things are moving. I've of my four, uh, three of them, two of them sold in less than a week. One of them sold in 2 weeks, and the fourth is, 3 months. That's the one I was just talking about. It's strange.
Raleigh, what do you think the differences are with the ones that moved quickly? Were they just a different neighborhood that people are more attracted to?
The negative impacts.
Okay,
Yeah. The one that I'm struggling to sell is the one with all the negative impacts. The others don't have any.
gotcha.
Yeah. At least in my case, I can't speak. That's only been my experience of the four that I've had that have come online in the past few months.
Hi to everyone. This is the first time I've done a call from a roof before,
you
and
sound
I'm
a
out of
little
breath
winded.
because I just had to scale this. And then my access point just went down, so then I had to scale the building the other way with a big battery pack, so I can make sure. Phil, didn't you work at Starlink at one point? Or no,
Yeah,
SpaceX.
I both, but yeah, I launched the first sats that went up. So I'm supporting your internet right now, or I
Yes,
was.
you gotta keep it high. That's what I learned.
Yeah, just unobstructed views.
That's I thought I had those, but you know what? That's okay. We're on the
Stay
roof.
safe.
So you guys, I know Amanda hopped in to talk about her experience and get it going. Right now I'm hearing a lot of chatter from people, and they're a little worried about the market conditions. The first thing I want to kind of point out is July is always slow, you guys. It is never not like this in July. It's the only time it wasn't was during the pandemic. And so this is pretty normal. What was not normal is we had properties sitting a little longer, and it was July and April. And so what we're going to do right now is we want to talk about how to be tactical with what are we doing with pricing, and then what can we do to push a sale right now. And this is stuff that we train with our brokers in our office. It's the way that I do things to try to sell deals, because at the end of the day, we have to come up with the right strategy to sell our properties in the quickest possible fashion, but do it in the right way as well. You guys, everybody who's sitting on houses right now, I am with you. I am sitting on, I think I have 4 on market. I got 5 more coming to market in the next 3 weeks. And so the market's cooled, but it's not a concern, because when I was looking at listing them in the summer anyways, I kind of knew that it was going to take a little bit longer. And so it's about making the right decision for your scenario, but also how do we work that sale? And how do you get your brokers to really work the deals? Because about just sending out emails and going, hey, what do you think? That's not what we're doing right now. We want to sell. It's no different than when the market's really hot. How do you find a good deal? You pound the phone for wholesalers, and you are constantly working on finding that deal flow. So when the market's slow, we're constantly working on any kind of buyer. Right now, you guys, nationwide, there is over 600% more active listings than buyers in the market right now. And that is okay. It's about how do we position ourselves and sell it in the right fashion. And so I'm actually going to pull up an email that was sent to me about one of our properties and the strategy that we're taking to try to bring the offer in. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull up the listing. And you guys, who on the call right now is struggling to sell a house, and who, because I know there's one of you in here, is freaking out about it? Who's freaking out? I mean, I know Amanda gets stressed, and you guys, that's okay, right? That's part of this business. But the thing we have to do, no matter what, is we have to rely on data, market activity, showings, and just positioning your property in the right way. And trust me, guys, I have a couple houses sitting on market for over 100 days, and these houses are priced very well right now. And so things that we're going to look into, how do we sell this house? So I got one right now that I'm pulling up. And just, you guys, I don't have a crystal ball, but what I do think is going to happen is I do think it's going to be dead until the end of August. And that doesn't mean that your house isn't going to sell during this time, but July and August are always kind of slow. And also, we're still in this little bit of a transition. And there's a lot of buyers waiting on the sidelines, just waiting for the Fed to cut the rate a little bit, and they're going to jump back in. And so, what I do know is the buyer activity, houses that we were seeing 15 showings a week on, they're down at 2. So there's a bunch of buyers in the background that still need to buy homes. And that's what's important. So right now, I am going to pull this listing, you guys. This is a head scratcher for me, and this is why I wanted to pull this up. This property is located in Capitol Hill. Actually, you guys, this was on the TV show. That's how long I've owned this house now for. And I know this area very well. It's in Capitol Hill. I've sold numerous homes right by this property over the last couple years, and I've sold them all quickly, and this one's not. And we're going to dig into what does that look like. So that's another one right there, Redmond. That's in. So right now we have this house. It is Capitol Hill. And the property is a 4-bed, 3.25 bath, 2,420 square foot house on a 3,300 square foot lot. And the cool thing about this property is it's actually L zoned. You can build a townhome in the back of this yard. And so I thought that was worth a value. It's on a good street in the Capitol Hill market. It is next to an apartment building, but not a bad one. And then there's multi-million-dollar townhomes across the street and in the backyard. So it's a very good product. The home was immaculately renovated, you guys. We probably spent an extra 30K on this house. We spent about 275,000 renovating this house. We updated it even more because of the show, but we put some very expensive siding on the house. That's all lap siding, those fish scales up top, very, very expensive. And the house was completely rebuilt. You know, all new kitchen, all new windows, all new siding. We finished out the basement, dug down the slab, rewired, replumbed, everything got done in this house. And we added a bunch of flavor in it too. It doesn't really feel generic. And so when I'm looking at this house here, it's going, why isn't it selling? Right. And that's that feeling that we all get. I'm like, why is this not selling? This is priced well and it's in the right area. So the first thing we want to look at is, okay, why is it not selling? As you guys can see, I'm at 110 days on market. I can tell you I originally started my list price at $1.75 million or $1.79 million. I started high. We listed this house when it was at, the market was really hot, no inventory in Capitol Hill. We got offers at this house at 1.65 to 1.675 in the first month, and I turned them down because I felt so good about my product in the comps. And that's okay, right? I made a decision. I rolled with it based on experience and comps, and now it's not going my way. And that's a decision that I made. Or excuse me, you guys, we were listed at 1.7 million. So after sitting on the market for 60 days, we then kept checking, the things that we want to look at. Okay, what do we need to do to sell it? Because at the time, I was still one of the nicest fixed up houses for sale. So I was being stubborn on price. The things that we check on a daily basis or a weekly basis is we need to know, you guys, what is the active buyers in the market? And as we can see, the market has cooled down. And we went from in April, in the first 30 days, we had nearly 25 to 30 people through this property. Because this is not counting open houses that we've done where, 5 or 6 buyers have came through. Now, in the last 2 weeks, you guys, we've only had 2 buyers through this house. And so what do we do about that? And I do want to preface that I dropped the price $100,000 3 weeks ago. So I decided, hey, we need to move this house. I'm going to cut the price $100,000. And I got 2 buyers to look at it. Now, in that previous week, we only had 3 showings in itself, whether it was at 1.7, 1.6. And the reason I'm talking about this, you guys, this is very important because sometimes price does not move the house. It's about waiting for the right market. So in the last 30 days, I've had a total of 5 people through this house. And this pocket here was one of the hottest pockets in all of Seattle. Now, over time, it's actually cooled down in North Seattle. Other areas have gotten a lot better as far as sellability, but that is very, very slow. So what do we do about that? The first thing that we do is we need to check, how do we get it sold? We have to look at price. On this house here, we're going to look at what's active and pending. I can tell you I have sold comps at our list price all day long. Now I cut my price $100,000. Now I need to say, okay, I've only had 2 showings over 3 weeks. What's going on in the market right now? Am I overpriced? And if I'm overpriced, I'm going to look at, well, do I need to make a price adjustment? How can I incentivize buyer? But we have to kind of go off of what's going on in the market now. So if we look in this general area, what we're going to see, man, there's more and more greens coming on, is we have, and I'm going to look at homes, you guys, only 1,800 square feet and above, because we're a 2,500 square foot house. So in this half-mile radius that I pulled right there, we can look at, well, there's a couple things that we have for sale. The first one is we have a property listed at 145. That is $250,000 cheaper than me. The thing is, this property is located on a very busy street on this section. Oop, actually, is it? Yep, a 3-lane road. This property in general, sorry guys, I'm on a roof, so I'm getting some weird sun, but I don't think my face is the important part anyways. This house I can throw out, right? That's a different buyer. Major negative defect. It's very fast. It's not really going to attract the same type of buyer. So this here is not a concern of mine as for my listing. The next house is a brand new renovated house that's 3,800 square feet, 6-bed, 3-bath, built in 1904. Excuse me, this is not renovated. But it's a very big house, right? It's 1,300 square feet bigger than ours. It's actually being marketed as a townhome site. That's why they're listing it so high. And so this listing here is 4,300 square feet. You can put in 5 duplex units. So a single and 4 more duplexes with 3 parking spaces. So this is a development site. This is not a concern of mine. This is a different buyer, different product. At 155, they're overpriced on their dirt, and I hate to tell that seller their dirt's worth about 950 grand. So probably not going to move. Then we can get into the next cheapest house in the area, which is mine. And so in a half-mile radius right here, I am the cheapest, nicest home for sale. We're 4-bed, 3.25 bath. We're priced at $661 a foot. As we continue through the comps, we see that there's a 3,000 square foot house that's not fully renovated, but great street. You know, it's been partially kind of updated. I would say not to the level that we have where we reconfigured the whole floor plan, but it's definitely been spruced up over time, a little bit less finished product. But it's listed at 175. So we're $150,000 cheaper than this house. The next house, 2.2 million. Then we're at 2.25 million, 2.6 million, 3.8. Then we go into a pending sale right here, which is a house that went pending at 2.35 million in the same geographical location as ours. This house here is located on 17th. It's a great street. It's a different feel. It makes sense that that one's selling for 20% more. Then we get into the next pending. So you guys, out of all these houses in this absorption rate, we have a total of 11 homes and only 2 are pending. We have an absorption rate of less than 20% on this current neighborhood. So that means it's a slow market. This house here is pending at 1.3 that has been renovated, 1,900 square feet, so smaller than ours, and it's pending at $674 a foot, which is $20 a foot more expensive than what we have marketed right now. The reason it's also selling a little bit lower is the lot's smaller and the builder built a townhome right in the backyard of this house. And so the house was renovated. It's at the same price per square foot, a little bit smaller square footage. It had a negative impact with the townhome in the back. But this one went pending at 5 days on market very quickly because the builder priced it at 1.3, which is in the affordability sweet spot of this neighborhood. And so as we go through the data right here, and you guys, if you hear some noise, it's because I'm on a roof of a house that's being demoed below me right now. This is definitely a first time in my life I've ever done anything like this. We can see on pricing, you guys, this tells me the absorption rate. I got a house pending at $984 a foot. I'm priced at $660 a foot. I have another house pending at $674 a foot. And they're completely different ranges. I got 2.4 and I got 1.3, and I'm in the middle. And so what that tells me, it's like either people want the very, very nice best to the best street, which is 2.3, or they want something affordable at 1.3 and they're willing to give up their backyard. So those are the only two sales and pendings in the last 45 days in this market. So what do I do with this information? Because I just cut my price $100,000. I thought it would get a lot of action, and I didn't get much more action. But currently, I am priced at 1.6 million. Do I cut price? My answer is no, you guys, because I'm still the cheapest, nicest thing for sale. And so now it's about taking the limited buyer pool that we have and how do we convert with that? So one thing that we always do is the first thing that every Monday, we are calling on every active listing in the area, and we want to know how many showings are they getting. I can tell you that the average showings in this area are about one a week for this price range. That's what every broker has said. So I know that I'm getting the same amount of showings as everybody else. I know I'm the nicest house for sale. I know that I'm the cheapest, nicest house for sale. And yet my house isn't selling. So what decision do I make? I can cut price again, but we've already seen that 1.5, there's not a lot of movement in this market in general. So right now, you guys, I'm sitting at that 1.6, and I will not be touching price until I get some sort of activity to sell and offer out at. The reason I don't like to sell is because the reason I don't like to just cut price is because many times you can work a buyer that comes through. So things that we're doing to market this property is soon as someone shows the house, we are getting on the phone with them to see who their buyer is. What are they interested in? Are they looking in this specific location? Are they looking at numerous different areas? What is their holdup? What is their objections on the house? And we can reach out and start negotiating off the bat. So like with this house here, one thing that I checked in was with my mortgage professional, it's going to cost me about $35,000, but I can buy people's rates down into the mid fives on this property. And so knowing that, that's the first thing I want to do is how can I make this more affordable for something? How can I make this different than any other property that they might be going to? Well, first I can try to buy their rate down. And so if you have a house sitting, you guys, every 30 days, you want your broker and yourself to check in with your mortgage professionals and go, how far can I buy down someone's rate? Because sometimes to sell a property, it's not about the price or cutting price. It's about negotiating and wheeling someone in. So if we're getting one showing a week, that's the call that we make. Hey, what did your buyer think about this property? What is holding them back from the property? Are they going to look at more homes? If they're going to look at more homes, you guys, what I want to do is leave mine in the top of their brain. So like with this house here, we actually had a showing over the weekend and they went through the property. It was his number one home on the 4 homes he had already viewed that day. He also was going into West Seattle, Ballard, but he did really like this general location for his work. He had 5 more homes to go look at that day. And then he was flying back to California and he's figuring out his timeline to move. So what we want to do to help move this deal, right? Because out of all the houses that are for sale right now, we're all fighting over the same buyer because the market will bring more buyers in. Oh my gosh, guys, sorry, the sun's dropping. I'm trying to get out of the glare. So we reached out to this buyer and we say, hey, look, what did you think of the house? Okay, you love the house. What's holding you back from the house? Well, the first thing is he's got to figure out his time frame to move. The second thing is he wants to know about parking. He's like, yeah, I really want 2-car parking. You guys got an oversized 1 car. I'd like to get 2 there. Okay, so what if we put in a second parking pad for him? He would be very open to that. The next thing he said, he goes, well, and I might want a garage, which is going to be a hard item for us to put in a timely fashion. He goes, if I had a garage, I'd buy it right now. And so we now have the general information, the objections that we can focus on trying to fix later. The thing that we left that buyer with was, hey, we can fix your parking for you. We can talk about that more. We can talk further about the garage if that's an important thing for you. Well, let's talk about that. I'm not going to say I'm going to build the garage, but I said we will talk about it in the negotiations. But how we left it for him was, hey, look, if you want to get us an offer, how would you? This is your number one home. You're concerned about parking. You're concerned about your time frame for moving. And you're also concerned about the affordability because he's looking at all different types of price points. To keep this guy in the top of our mind, and this is what we want to do, we want to get him thinking about this house throughout the whole weekend and thinking about this deal even when he's going and viewing others. That's where we offer, say, hey, if you could bring us a full price offer, we can get your rate down to a 5.4 rate. And we will pay to have that bought down. And if parking's a concern, let's talk about that. And so what our goal is, how do we get this one buyer to buy our house? Well, we check their price. We know the price is good. We can keep cutting price, but that's probably not going to help when there's only one buyer absorbing a house out of all the listings out there. And so cutting price isn't going to help. So now we incentivized. We talked to our mortgage professionals. How can we buy the rate down to where our rate is cheaper than any other house that you're going to look at? We then got every objection out of them, and we're working on solutions for them. And we're going to bring them back some solutions to try to drag in this offer. Now, I'm going to pull up the email from the broker now because I want to read how she wrote it. And you guys, what I'm trying to go on this is this isn't always about cutting price and why isn't my house selling? We pulled the comps, our price is justified. We've talked to all the other brokers in the area and it's just slow. There's not too many people buying right now. It's just slow. We know that the next price drop on a house, you guys, if I cut price, I like to do it at least 3% price drops. I think that's really what moves the needle. More expensive houses, you can kind of do 2, but we're going to have to do a 3% price drop. That's going to be roughly about a $50,000 drop for me to get any more activity. I already dropped it 100 grand, 3% is going to be another 50, and it's not really going to move the needle because my buyer at 155 is my same buyer at 16. And so for me, I sit tight on this deal and I'm knowing that I'm willing to cut price. This is where we're negotiating it off. So let me get right here. Okay, so this was the response that we had. So how do we get to move these deals? Can you guys all see my email right now? All right.
Yes.
So it's not about you guys just getting the information. It's about interpreting the information and going, how do we work this angle? So it said we had one private showing last week. This is from Megan, the listing broker. Windermere said her clients requested a copy of the title report to review the easement to determine whether building a garage would be feasible. Okay. So the buyers now ask us a question about building a property. A buyer that's never built a garage before and he's not going to have very good information. That's his first concern. Hey, can I build a garage? They also wanted to confirm there's enough space to park their truck in the shared driveway, which we offer to create a 2-car. And I'm following up with additional details the agent shared or they'll be moving forward. So this information, guys, how do we drag this in? As you guys can also see, here's our feedback on the listings. 23rd Ave East, they're getting 1 to 2 showings a week. 23rd Ave East, they've had 9 showings in total. So they're getting about 2 a week, and that's in their first month on market. We have another listing broker, 59 days on market. We have another one, 89 days. And so what everybody is telling us is that this property here is getting the same amount of showings. We're at the same price point. And so how do we get this off first, right? Because that guy who's going through that neighborhood right now is all of our buyers right now. That is everyone who's listed buyer. And so the steps we're taking right here, guys, if I know I'm going to do a price drop or I'm willing to do a price drop, that's a $50,000 drop. If I drop that price point to $50,000, it's still not going to get me any more showings. It's irrelevant. I'm willing to spend the 50, so how do I get it to where I drag them in? I'm trying to buy down the rate. That's $30,000. The next thing I know is to build a garage is going to cost me about $30,000 to build the garage. And what the brokers also said is that garage isn't necessary for him to buy, but he's looking into it because he definitely wants one down the road. And so for us, we have to solve the objections. We have one buyer in 2 weeks that we're working, and we are dead focused on that. That's how we click this out. We talked to an architect today. They're drafting up a proposal to take it through permit. They're going to let us know what the time frames are, and then we're going to quote out the garage. And this is not with the buyer asking us to do this. We didn't go, hey, buyer, would you like us to do this? He's given us the objection. We know we're number one on his list. He's just not in a hurry to pull the trigger. So we have to pull the trigger for him. We're going to give him a lower rate, and we're going to come back to him by this week, not drag it out. And we're going to come to him with a proposal with a design on the garage, what the cost of that garage is. And now we can go back to him and say, hey, look, if you give us a full price offer on this property, we will buy down your rate. That's going to cost me roughly $25,000. I now can offer him, and then when you close, I will cut you back a check for $25,000 with the plan that we've already given you, to where then you can then permit and build it out. And so instead of dropping at 50, because the 50 is going to do nothing for me, I can take the money and work it with their objections. And I'm not just throwing money at the buyer. Like, well, if you want to build a garage, I'll give you 25,000 off. That still doesn't fix his solution. The solution is I want a garage and I need to know how to do it because he's not from in town. And so that's how we pop off sales quicker. This house again's been on market for 120 days. I have a feeling that we are going to go pending in the next 7 because of going through these motions and sucking this buyer in. And so when we're trying to sell these things, it's a little bit slow, you guys. Brokers have to talk to people. No, like the emails are fine, but what is the objection holding back? I want to know that. Like maybe they hate the house. Maybe it's the floor plan. Maybe the neighbor next door is just a no-go. That's okay. That buyer's off the mix. But if there is any angle with that buyer that it's on their possibility list, it's our job to drag this off. And cutting price is, that is a lazy broker's advice. If we're overpriced and all the comps say we're overpriced, then we got to cut price. But if we're priced right, the next answer can't just be price drop, because if I drop to 50,000, I'm going to still have this problem and I might have to give up another 50,000 on that negotiation. And so what I wanted everybody to talk about tonight is like, hey, if you have problems, let's look at that together. But don't just think it's not always black and white. It's check your activity. Are you priced well? Is your price per square foot in line? Are you getting the same showings that the other listings are getting? If you're not getting those same amount of showings, then you probably need to bring your price down. If no one's really going pending and the absorption rate is low, how much are you willing to give and communicate that with your broker so they can put together negotiating tools rather than just throwing money at them? You guys, throwing money at people is not negotiating. Bringing them a scenario is negotiating. And those are the things that will help pop it off. One other thing, and I'm going to open up for questions, you guys. If you have a house on market right now, go to that house every week, you guys. Go check on it. Is it clean? Does the temperature feel good? Are the weeds, is it weeded? Does it, are the beds cleaned out? Like, those are things that really, really matter, these first impressions, and there is no time to lose that buyer. We actually had a buyer come out to this same property, and this was no one's fault, and someone broke into it the day before the buyer showed, right? We have 2 buyers in 2 weeks go through this house. I just lost one of my buyers because they got freaked out by the neighborhood. And so checking on the houses, guys, you don't want to lose that one buyer when the absorption rate's low. So let's open it up now. Well, I say, Alex, hang on one second. I'm gonna answer a couple questions on the chat, and then let's open it up. Says, well, Jason says, I have a solo flip listing the first week of September. You guys, honestly, my opinion, and don't hold me to this, is you guys, I actually think September is when the market's going to pick back up. August is always really slow. We always get an uptick in September. And at the same time, when we get that little bump there, and I do think rates are going to come down a little bit, so we could see a surge. You guys, I was talking to somebody too in Seattle, and they were talking about the tech layoffs, and this is something that was good information, right? We want to communicate to make the right decisions, and this person works heavily in tech, and they go, well, yeah, the real estate's going to slow down right now because there was a bunch of layoffs, and he goes, but just so you know, these layoffs, they got 8 months of severance, and not only that, they all have jobs. Everyone he knew already had a job, but they were opting to travel this summer with their severance and starting in September. He's like, I actually think real estate's going to, and this guy's not a real estate guy. He's like, the buyers are coming back in September because they're on vacation right now. They have money, rates are going to come down, and they're going back to their jobs. And once he told me that, I was like, oh, yeah, that kind of actually all makes sense. And so, Jason, don't be too nervous, dude. I think September is better than August. I can tell you that much. All right. I'll be careful on the roof, Jason. All right, Alex.
Hi. So getting ready to list, and I wanted to get your thoughts on my market. So recently we had an active come about around the corner from me, and I had a friend call them, and so it's under contract. And so now I've been talking to the agent of that property because he happened to sell. Do you remember I had like a pool comp also?
Yes. Yeah,
Um,
when you first bought
he
it.
yeah, but I didn't go by that because I don't have a pool in a nice backyard. So the agent that sold that pool comp now is selling this new um active around the corner that's under contract. So he sent me a CMA, and his value like is a lot higher than what, my ARV is. And I'm trying to figure out like what would be a good price based on like what I'm seeing in my area now.
Well, so you have a listing broker already though, right?
So that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about because so he's been helping me throughout the process with like, how I should design the property and everything like that. Um, but every time I tell him to call the active that I have, that's like the 1.2 that's overpriced, he pulls out his phone and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna call," but he never does. And so I just I don't know, like I just don't know how to feel about that.
Okay, so basically he was supposed to help you with design. Did he do that?
So he has like he's been sending me referrals and we've been texting a lot, and then he's done like maybe 3 walkthroughs.
Okay, so he's helped you design, he's done 3 walkthroughs, but then you've asked him to make phone calls on properties and he has not done it.
Well, there's this one active. I always bring it up and then he'll pull out his phone, but then he doesn't ever call them. And I ask every time that I've seen him.
Okay, he's a
So
no-go.
he has helped me. He has helped me, right? But that's how my boyfriend feels too. He's like, "Oh, it's weird." Like he's helped. I can't say he hasn't. I just don't know how to feel about it. And then, so I also spoke to the agents that sold
Hold
that
on, you
the
guys.
other two.
Hold on
Yeah.
one sec though. First things first,
Okay.
you guys, if you have a broker in a slow market that's not making phone calls and you ask them to do something and they don't do it, in what world do we work in where you're essentially employing him? Does an employer get to ask someone to do something they don't get to do it? That doesn't
Yeah.
work. And so you guys, especially in this market, we need people to do their jobs, right? And no one's perfect by any means, but like that's a very important piece of information for him to get. And how many times have you asked him?
Like 3 times in
Done.
person.
3 times and you're out.
Yeah.
And I would just say, hey, look, I would call him and you guys, we have to be blunt with people and be realistic. And you know what I actually love is when a client's blunt with me. Like, I'm not happy about this. And then we can get to direct conversations. And if my job as a broker and a broker that runs a team of brokers is to make sure, we're not magicians. We can't sell things when we can't sell them, but we can do everything in our ability to do so and follow the right process to sell them. And so if a client asks us to do something, our job is to do it. And if they're not going to do it, how do you know they're going to follow up? But if they don't make that follow-up call, what if they don't make the follow-up call with this one buyer that you really need to buy your house?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have that very clear conversation with them because their job is to educate you on price, not for you to bug them about the list price.
Yeah.
And I
So
would have
that's why
that
I wanted to.
conversation very directly with him tomorrow and say, hey, look,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't get him drastically improved on this, I'm moving on with a different broker.
Okay.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that, you guys. If a client told me that, hey, look, I'm not getting this from you, and I either need to do this or I got to move on, that's okay because that's what we're supposed to be doing is tailoring our services around the client's needs. So because now he's not doing your job and you're guessing on your values.
Yeah. And then this other guy, I don't even know how we ended up talking to him, but he sent me a CMA and now his value is different than what this guy is just going by the ARV that I gave him. And then he never even brought up that this new active came up. Like I missed it. I didn't see it. But we have a friend who's an agent. She came to see the house and she brought it up and she called them on the spot. And that's how we found out it was under contract. So like why isn't he doing this, you know?
The broker that you were supposed to list with?
Yes.
Okay. And you guys, that's the thing. We have to set the tone with what we need our brokers to
Yeah.
do. Like you guys, I use the same set of but I work with a lot of different brokers, even listbacks. And I have told everybody the expectation is to make the phone call the day they show, not call at the end, right? And they might not get back to them, but these are my expectations that I want done. And and if they can do that, that's great. Because then I know they're doing what they need to do to sell the house. And whether they sell it or not, maybe not be on them, but I don't want to think that it's on my broker. And if they're asking this on repeat and they're not paying attention and they know it's important, I would have a hard conversation with them. Did he get you a contractor?
I'm sorry. Did I didn't hear you. Did he
Oh,
what?
did he get you your contractor?
He did refer him to us. Yes,
Okay.
he did. He did. Yes, the guy well, one of the guys that we ended up doing a lot of the work with. Yes.
Okay, so that is a benefit that they added. And so now it's, what we got to talk about is like, hey, I'm glad you helped me out here, but I need these things done. And if you can't get them done in this time frame, I'm gonna have to have someone else sell it, and I don't want to do that. So you can't really, I wouldn't pull it from them, but you need to
Yeah.
set your expectations.
Yeah. Okay. We can have that conversation. Um, yeah, because now I just don't know about the values like you said.
Well, and you also have another broker that's trying to get your business, so they can also tend to tell you different
Mm-hmm.
things, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so let's break down the comp. Your pending comp in the area. What's it pending for?
895, he said it's gonna go for 880. But
And-
it has a pool. I don't have that. But it's a smaller living square footage.
Okay, so it's smaller than your house and has a pool. And how many other houses are active for sale in the area?
Like in one more. It's also not like fully renovated.
Okay, so
I think you froze.
Not his best look.
I hope it's just the Starlink that's down.
While we wait, do we want to take bets on how he's trying to fix this right now? Shannon, are you still in a car filled with your family?
Can I ask you guys a quick question?
Of course. Anyone jump in right now? I apologize.
I'm at my solo flip here at the Kirkland. I don't know anything about construction or the cost, and this is the first project I'm taking on. What do you think it's going to cost to move this window over? So we have 36 inches of shower instead of 30.
I mean, can I see the rest of the room? Can you take a step back?
Yeah. It's a split level, and this is a master uh bedroom. And you're looking at the bathroom.
Are you tearing out all that drywall anyways?
No.
What kind of siding is on the house?
Uh just wood? Can
Can you
you
pan
see?
down? Yeah, can you pan down more? $600.
Does that include the window rally?
I'm buying windows for $200 all day.
And that includes your labor?
It's mostly labor. Well, half.
Again, I
Damn.
think you need to expand your team's rally, please.
So Raleigh's at 600. What do you think you can do it for, Amanda? I think I'm frozen.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Did we lose Amanda too?
I think so. She's on mute.
Hi guys. So it looks like hopefully James didn't fall off the roof, just having an internet problem. And
Hi, Shannon. Welcome back. We've missed
hello. Hello. Yes. Had a nice time in Hawaii, but now I'm back in the game, about to walk over and see my flip for the first time since it's been framed. So I'm excited to see if it's done right or not. That'll be fun. But Jason, did you need to move that window over? What do you guys think? Does he need a bigger shower, or is that worth the ROI on that to make it wider like that?
Jason, is that your primary shower?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
mm.
it's a split level, but the split level is only like 1530 square feet. And I walked it with Megan. And currently the shower is only 30 inches. And she said we should try to get a 36 in here. So from there to
Yeah,
here, it's like 30 inches.
that makes sense if it's your primary. Yeah, I didn't catch that.
And then
Yeah,
you have to move the plumbing for your toilet.
right.
So you got to make sure you have enough for 30 inches there plus your vanity.
Yep.
You look like you might be a little tight.
We're actually gonna make a wall right here, so we're gonna have like a double. So boom, boom.
Oh, nice. You get some more space.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Oh.
But I don't know anything about construction, so I don't know. Moving window sounds expensive.
Well, I mean,
So
Raleigh gave you an estimate. I mean, he can probably do it cheaper than the rest of us. So add $200 onto that, and you're probably about right. That's my ballpark guesstimate.
perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
yeah. Happy to help. I don't know if I can be that helpful, but I'm happy to, and I don't know, answer any questions. I think Amanda's unavailable at the moment, and I say, as long as you guys want to stay on for a minute, we'll wait for James and
Yeah,
see.
he's logging back in right now. But Shannon, you have
Perfect.
broker experience, so why don't you chime in on the kickoff of the conversation?
Yeah, well, I'm not a broker, just to throw that out there. Christian, my husband, is and has been for about 20 years, so we've had a team of brokers. I mean, I think what James is saying about July being slow is true generally. So here's the thing about the market, which Christian kind of has said this over and over every year. It's a cyclical market, right? It acts certain ways certain months of the year. Sometimes it goes down, like we all know December is not a good time, right? And then it bumps back up halfway through January. And the same with the summer. However, there are times when things happen in the economy that change that trajectory, right? So, oh, he's back. There he is. Well, I'll let
Star
him take over.
Starlink went down. What were you saying though, Shannon?
I was just saying the market, because they were just asking about, like, as you know, on the broker side, which I'm not a broker, but kind of in that vein. The market has patterns, right? Every certain months of the year it goes up or down, but sometimes the certain things happen in the economy which can shift that, right? So if rates go up really high, you might get something versus if rates go down, maybe you'll get an early spring bump or vice versa. So um July is slow and it's even slower than normal, I think. So I think he's frozen.
He's just taken aback by how profound that was.
I know he's like speechless with my knowledge of the market as a non-broker here. Well, I guess he's gonna come back, but we know he's coming back to us and he didn't fall off the roof. I do love that for all of us. Um, Christian, you got anything? Oh, he's back again. Okay.
I gotta say, I gotta beef with Starlink. I spent all this money buying this thing, and it's worse than dial-up internet. Phil, I gotta beef with this. I've already switched
I'll
my.
I'll message someone.
Yeah, tell Elon, once you fix that, please, because we have real estate to talk about.
Will
I was
do.
All right,
but yeah,
I'll let you take over.
yeah, and you guys, I apologize. Obviously, this isn't quite working the way I was hoping it would, so I will have this resolved on Tuesdays with the mobile and the filming. We invested the money, it's just not working right. Um, so, uh, Alex, with your broker, we got to set the tone with them. Like, hey, this is what we need you to do, and we need to get this back because I think what's happened.
Is it just me, or does anybody hear anything?
Nope, he's out again. Shoot.
Okay.
I just texted
Maybe
him to shut
yeah.
off his video.
I was about to say the same. Just sometimes you just do the audio. And that's what you got to do.
He really thought he had the magic potion.
Oh. So yeah, I would say maybe try shutting off your video. Like give you better audio.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't hear anything. Personally.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Okay, I'm in the middle of switching to my phone right now too, so this fixes. Starlink is a fail today. Um, but you can hear me right now, right?
Yep.
So Alex, what we need to do is we need to set the tone with this broker. This is what we need you to do. You have 1 week to kind of clean this up, and I got to make sure you can sell this thing. He needs to pull a report of what's the variation in sales of homes with pools and homes that weren't. He needs to go on to in at least a mile radius and see what's the delta of the homes that are selling with pools or not. In addition to, I would get a quote for the pool so you know what that is in case you have to work backwards on that sale. But we got to get this guy doing his job or switch brokers. But talking to numerous brokers is just going to confuse you because some are selling you to switch to them and they're going to tell you different types of things.
Okay. Okay, so I'll have him pull that then.
So, Alex, do you have that as far as next steps on that?
I think we lost you again, but I heard what you said to have him pull as a report and talk to him about what he needs to work on for the next week, right?
And then he needs to pull a report of homes that sell with pools versus not and what the delta and the variance is there.
Okay.
And then also get a quote for a pool, okay?
I don't think I want to do the pool because I'm afraid of
You don't,
the whole
Alex,
permit stuff.
Alex, I'm not going to build a garage at that house, but I'm going to know how much it costs so I can explain it to a buyer.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So get the quote just so you know it. You're not going to install it.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. Well, you're almost done. And the good news is they're selling for more than before.
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, and that I think they got an offer in 6 days. And the pool one he sold, that one was like 14 days it went pending. So I don't know. That's good, I
that
guess.
one thing I would ask that broker is, was there any people that wrote that house that didn't get it? And would they be open to buying your house if you have the pool quoted out and they can buy this house cheaper and they have the pool on hand?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Okay.
Because then you can kind of work every angle with them.
Okay. Thank you.
Sergi,
Hi, James.
how are you, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, just sitting on top of a roof that might cave in.
That must not be fun, huh?
You know what? Doing different things is always fun for me. So this is a first. So I'm and it's a nice sun. It's better than a rainy day.
Yeah. I have a quick question. I attached link to my listing in Edmonds. I was wondering if you can take a look at it, and um, Victoria is selling it for me from your guest's office.
Okay.
And she was suggesting a week ago, she was suggesting a 50K price drop, which is a lot. It's almost all of my profit. Um, but I was talking with her a little bit, and then we agreed on to do a 25,000 price drop. So it's been tomorrow is a 1 week since it was dropped, but we had no showings for that 25,000 price drop. So she emailed me yesterday, and um she's thinking we need to do another 25 to kind of hopefully get more attention, or at least some attention.
Okay, so what are the active? So the because right now this price point in Edmonds is definitely a little bit on the higher side of the market, but there's
Mhm.
also homes selling in that area, but it's definitely taking a lot longer. I do know that, um, because I actually have a listing coming right by there too, and randomly the neighbor put their house up for sale and sold it for 980, and I thought I was gonna sell mine for 1.2, and I was like, oh wow, okay, here we go. Um, it, what what are your active? So you have zero active showings, but did the other listings get many showings this week at all? Because I don't think they are right there right now.
Yeah, some of the comps that close by went pending. One I think 5 days, one is like 19 or 20 days,
Okay.
but they're really different. Like some of them are not as good remodels. It just like updated home, but homeowners update. And there's I don't oh there's one across the street. It's a little bit bigger, but the remodel is not as good. Plus the um um access to the house is kind of weird. And they listed it at a 125, 1,250.
Okay, and that one's active.
That one active, yeah. They just listed
Oh,
it last week, I think, or maybe this week.
okay, and then you said there was two that went pending in the first 2 weeks.
One
One's
is like 5 days, and one is I think 19 days.
okay, and the ones that went pending, what price points were those?
Right around our price, like 1.2, around 1.2.
Okay, so what we need to do, and because we're in the same price point, they went pending quick. There isn't a lot of buyer velocity up there right now because you guys most things that are on the higher end in all markets, and I would say 1.2 to 1.3 in Edmonds is a little bit on the higher side right now. Um, they're just a little bit slower. What did Victoria say? That one went pending in 5 days. How many showings did they get, and how many offers did they get?
Um, I don't think she mentioned that specific information.
Okay, so we want to drill into that, and the reason that's important because they might have had one showing and got one offer. And
Yeah.
you know, because most of the time that if that house went pending that quick, which will happen, but it's in the same price point that you're in. Was it of the same square footage as well?
Similar. Let me see. Let me pull it. Let me pull that listing. Well, she mentioned it was in better location.
Okay, so it's a better location, and then
I'm
okay,
gonna
so
attach the link. I'm gonna attach the link for that one, the one that went pending in 5 days.
yeah, because I'm looking at your house, the link you posted, and the house it looks good. It's exactly the way it should look, Sergi.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, so you
Okay,
got
just drop the link in chat.
no. And you guys, everybody on the call, please look at the links as well. Sorry, because my star link's out. I gotta do this on my phone, which is hard for me to share. So the home that sold, oh yeah, it's a little different too.
Yeah.
This is the one that sold at 1-2 right there. Is that the link you just put in? Yeah, 642 Edmund at Elm Street.
Right. Yep, that
Yeah.
one.
I mean, the first thing I'm looking at is yes, the location is more towards the bowl, and the bowl is going to be worth a little bit more money, and also where you are in Edmonds, that's a little bit on the higher price point, 1-2 ish in that area. But there's definitely been a lot of sales, including I've sold some houses up there. In the Edmonds Bowl, 1-2 is a little bit more on the affordable side because it gets quite a bit more expensive over on that side. And so that is definitely one of the factors that are on this house. Um, this house, the yard's not great. It's almost more like a cottage style house. But this is going to be location on this because again, Edmonds Bowl is just going to bring a lot higher premium price. It's like the difference between like Clyde Hill and Bellevue.
Okay.
Where Edmonds Bowl is just very high demand. And so that might be a little excessive of a comparison, but there's going to be a gap there. And so there's certain buyers that are only looking in that specific pocket, and that's probably why this sold quick. Again, also in 1-2, because there's homes that sell in the this kind of area, and 1-6 is kind of the high part of the market. And if you're selling anything 1-5 to 1-7 right now, it's actually fairly slow, like really low showings. So this one sold quick because it's on the lower end of the market. Yours is on the upper end of the market in that specific price point. And so this comp does kind of make sense that it went off. What was the other comp?
Pull those. This one I'm sending is 22. It was 22 days in market. Very good.
Yeah.
Before one pending. Second.
And the thing we want to know right now, like Serge, he got no showings last week. In Serge, just I had basically had no showings on Capitol Hill too, and Capitol Hill is a good market right there. And when I went through that example, I'm the cheapest, nicest thing for sale. And so cutting price doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get more showings right there. And that's why I'm kind of working it the way I'm working it. So how many actives are in your area as you're finding that listing? Do you know?
Well, I had the email from Victoria. She sent me like 3 actives and 3 pendings to compare.
Okay. Can you put that link in the chat?
Yeah. Let's see. So I attached to the one I went pending in 22 days.
Yeah. Oh, and that's on Main Street right there. Okay, so that's again more towards the Edmonds Bowl area. So this is a little bit different area. Again, your other comp as well. And these are the only 2 sold recently. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just closed, I think, last week or so.
And I will say that those areas are pretty high demand areas in general. And so what we want to do is let's shrink the map to where we're closer to where we are.
And Victoria also mentioned you guys have another listing coming in this week. Is that your house? It's getting listed in 1-2?
Yeah,
Same
it's not
area?
similar area. We were supposed to be going out at 125, and then the neighbor listed their house for 940, and it got bid up to 985. And it literally is 2 houses down from mine.
Was that remodeled?
It was renovated about 5 years ago. It was not a bad house though. And the people, I was a little surprised when that went on because we definitely had comps for houses. It 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 definitely did not go the right way. And I don't know why they listed that low. The broker just said that the sellers wanted out immediately, so they put it to try to get a bidding war, and they thought it was going to go higher than where it went, and it did not. Which I don't think that was a good strategy for them in general listing. If there's low buyers in the market, and so now I'm battling that because that's only 2 houses down from mine. And so, I got an uphill battle as well right there because it never helps when it's 2 houses down. But we
Yeah,
are,
for sure.
I would say our level of finish looks very similar to yours, I would say in general. I think you're in a little bit better street than I'm on. I'm in a little bit rougher street. So, and then we do have another listing in the area too, and it's just really, really slow. It's just that the listing's priced at $999, a little bit smaller house, and we had sold a house 4 months before for 113 right down the street from this house. And
Yeah, I
so
think I saw that one for 113.
the white one in kind of Edmonds Linwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a good street at all right there. That's definitely worse than any street that we're on between our 2 Edmonds houses. And so it just shows right now that buyer pool is a little bit soft. And, one thing you guys that I'm starting to explore, and I got exciting news for everybody. We will be lending money nationwide in the next 30 days. We're finalizing that right now. The other thing is, things that I'm also looking at is I'm trying to put together a product that would be for all properties nationwide to where once you're done with the renovation, you refinance. When the market time's long, guys, how do we reduce expense, right? Because either we cut costs, it's going to cost us money one way, shape, or form, or can we reduce the whole cost? And so what I'm trying to work out right now, and this is what I was doing last night, the night before, is there, once the house is then finished, it gets refinanced into about a 9.5, 10% loan with no prepays. And so you get to cut your interest down and pull cash out if you want it.
That should
And
be nice.
and so that is one thing I am right there getting this lined up for everybody. So we're hoping it's done in the next 2 weeks and ready to go. Because Sergi, that might be something, those are things that we have to prepare for, right? We are selling into a market like Sergi's house is listed for the price that I thought I was going to sell my house for. In addition to, we sold 3 homes in a mile radius in that range. And when the market slows down, we have to look at, okay, how do we mitigate the cost and the hold? How do we mitigate the costs in general? Because it can just sometimes take longer. If we're overpriced, then we need to make the adjustment. But if we're priced well, like that Capitol Hill deal I just took you guys through, it's costing me 10 grand a month. If I can get into a little bit cheaper loan on that, it goes down to 8 grand a month. And if it takes 3 more to 4 more months to sell, that saves me $6,000 to $8,000, which can be a lot on the profits, you guys. And so these are things that, Sergi, I want to dig in. Well, I'm going to talk to Victoria because I don't think cutting price is the answer there right now.
Okay.
Because if there's no buyers looking at your house at 1,225, there's not going to be any buyers looking at it at 1,2. It's just we have to wait for that buyer pool to loosen up. What other actives are in your localized area?
I attached a few more links
Oh, did
for
you?
in the chat. Yeah.
I didn't see them for some reason. I saw
Two,
Redfin. Is it the Redfin
two
house that you
lost
put in?
yeah, two last links were active listings.
Okay. So what are we competing against? So you guys, the first active listing that I'm seeing is 7906. And everyone, if you want to pull this up.
Yeah, and the one above 8127 is active as well on the 230th Street.
Yeah, so on this specific house, though, as I go through, Sergi's at 1,225. This house is listed for 118. The first thing is Victoria needs to call these people and find out how many showings are they getting. Because when we look at this house, it's a little bit bigger. It's been renovated. It's not a bad house at all.
Yeah, this one is about 600 square feet bigger.
600 square feet bigger. It does have an undercover deck. This isn't great right here. I will say that because it actually looked a little bit more dated from the outside. But what we want to do is we need to narrow this down and go, okay, how many showings are they getting right now? Because if they're also getting zero, you making a price adjustment's not really going to help. I would save the price cut for as a buyer shows it, we throw incentives at them to drag them in because you guys, when people get that win and they were like, oh, I'm getting this extra thing I wasn't anticipating, that's where they start to focus on the wrong things. And so Victoria call. I want to know how many showings are on this house.
Okay. Can you pull up another one?
Yep, I'm
8127.
pulling up the 8127.
That's another active in the area.
Oh, yeah, these people, this is not a good house, bro. These people are in deep trouble on this one. I saw this house.
What happened
This
here?
house is so you guys, these are good things to explore. So, this looks like a decent house. It's actually been renovated fine. It looks good. But the thing is, actually, when you break this house down, we always want to go, okay, is this a concern comp for Surge or not? So this house here is located 5 streets off of 99 or very close to 99 in Commercial. There's a lot of really weird activity that walks up this street. The lot's not that usable. The renovation is not of your caliber that you're in. It's been well put together, but they definitely cut some costs down as far as like if you look at the kitchen cabinets, they're a very affordable kitchen cabinet. If you look at the finish work, it's they left the post in the center. It's not been fully renovated, and they're in a very, very tough location. Honestly, I think these people should be priced at like $999 on this house. And so this is not a concern comp of mine. We still want to know how many showings they're getting, but you're in a much better neighborhood, a better finished product. I wouldn't be too worried about this house.
Okay.
And so what we want to narrow in is, and so you guys, as we go through that, those are the things we want to dig in. Serge got these comps from the broker. I need to know more information. How many showings are they getting? What do you think that house is worth? If I'm listing the house for Serge, I can go, hey, look, I'm not worried about this one whatsoever. The other one is a little bit more of a concern of mine because it's a good house, similar neighborhood, a little bit more square footage. And that's what I kind of want to dig into. This one, I'm not going to spend too much time on. Because the location's different. This is a rough spot.
So you think another 25K is not going to help?
I don't think no. What we want to do is before we make that decision,
Okay.
I want to call that broker, and if that other listing is also getting no showings, we're definitely gonna leave the price alone for now.
Okay.
If they got 7 showings, then that's telling me that we got to get below that 1-2 number, like a 11999, because we're just are over. That's kind of where we need to be. Like maybe 1-2 is the cutoff for where the buyers are right now. And so we do want that piece of information. How many showings are they getting, and what's their activity? Then based on that, we can make the adjustment from there. Yeah, you can sleep.
Okay. Yeah, I will talk with her maybe tonight or tomorrow. So I will check up on those active listings and see what's going on.
And you guys,
Because
for everyone on
I
the call, that's what we have to do. It's not just a gut read. It's going, what information do we have? Let's look at it. Is it concerning or not? And if it's not concerning, we don't need to cut price.
because I was thinking like, if I cut the price and then I maybe break even or maybe even no, so,
Well, but
can you hear me?
yep, I can hear you. You broke up for a second. But cutting the price might not be the solution to get the house actually sold. We might want to keep that 25 grand in our back pocket and work that buyer that comes through.
Okay.
And it also could be the solution, but we need the information first. If that other house is getting a lot more showings, then it's telling me it's an affordability issue in Edmonds right now, and 1-2 is kind of the cutoff.
Okay. I'll talk with Victoria tomorrow. And then another thing I was thinking, I have a few more remodels, and so on this one I did self-funded rehab, and I was thinking to get the money, if it's possible to get the money for kind of like rehab money from interest. Is it even a good idea?
Oh, you mean to refinance? Oh, wait. So you did not do a construction loan?
No.
Okay. And now what you want to do is pull out some liquidity as you're sitting, so you don't want, because I'm guessing right now that's a pressure point. You got a lot of cash tied up in this.
Yeah, I'm just getting low on on my
Yeah.
money, so
Okay, so you guys, what we want to do right now though is that is an option to pull out cash. And yes, interest would be a good option because they've already borrowed against it. But what we can also look at is, can we refinance this, pull some cash out and get your rate down too? And so what is your current loan to balance right now? Roughly.
Let me see. Well, my loan there is 750, I think, or 730.
Oh, so
Somewhere
you
around
got
there.
a lot of equity in this deal right now. So, okay. Let's see. So you guys, most of the times you can refinance this, like even if they put a value of 115 on this property, right? Because it's just up for sale. You can typically get up to 80% cost on a refi and be able to get probably close to 900 grand as a loan balance on this. But what we also want to do, Serge, is let's see if we can also reduce the debt on this, because interest is really good for fast funding, construction funding, ease of draws. But if you have a long market to sit on in Edmonds, and trust me, I got a few coming right up in there too. If it's taking longer to sell, I want to reduce that interest expense. And because it's already done, and it's easy to get a refi when the house is already done rather than make construction. And
So
so,
do you go? Sorry, go ahead.
so we can look into pulling out. Let me explore some options, because I will post in the Facebook page, guys, when I think I'm gonna have funding ready, because I might be able to get that loan done for you for a little bit less if it's finished, and pull the cash out. And if not, we want to explore maybe some other lenders that are more soft money because the house is already done, and then we can refi it out. The thing that we want to look at is how many points and rates are they charging. And, Serge, I would make the call to InTrust or anybody's got a loan out with anybody right now. If you want to try to pull cash out, get some more terms, see what they'll do just so and say, okay, well, if I want to refi and pull 100 grand out, what are you going to charge me? Are they going to charge you origination points? Are they going to charge you anything? Or maybe you've been a great borrower and they just said, yeah, we can do this for you with no points, but the rate's a little higher. And then if we go to a soft money lender and they're like, you know what, we can refinance this at 9, but it's 2 points, it actually might be cheaper to stay with InTrust.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
so the first thing is we want to know what is that cost that it's going to be with InTrust. And then we can work backwards with the other lenders too. But I think that is a very doable option for you because you have a very low leverage on that deal.
Yeah. Okay, that's gonna be my homework for the next couple of days.
Yes, and you guys, I will post when I'm off the call tonight. It might be a little late. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have people in the neighborhood all staring at me on top of this roof asking if I'm okay. They're like, are you stuck? And so I will, if I can't, it might be a little late by time, but in the morning, I will post an update on the Facebook page about funding timelines. And you guys, these are things that I also I'm exploring too right now, because if my price is okay, how do I reduce that expense? Whether it's insurance, you guys, like if you're finished on your projects right now, you can call your insurance company. You're not in construction anymore and say, hey, look, I think I might have to keep this as a rental because it's not selling. Can I convert my policy? That could drop your insurance down by $300 a month. Talk to your lender. Is there any options for a lower rate? Can I pull cash out? Let's explore those options, because if you can get some cash out, get a lower rate, drop down your insurance amount, you guys, this can save you guys like $1,000 a month, 500, 1,000, maybe even more. And that's how we can kind of stop the bleed. In a slow market, that's what we want to do, is just ride out and stop the bleed. But just cutting price, if Serge just cuts 25,000, I think he's just giving it away at this point without more information.
Okay, James, thank you for your feedback and help. Do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, you guys, this is all the stuff that we want to think about. And that's why I was trying to walk you through this property, is like, how do we take the right steps on cutting price? And what are some other options? Other things that you guys want to do is, call your broker. I know we're going to be doing this on all of our listings, is we're going through for the different price points, finding out what the buy down rate is. And then as people go through, we're calling them and saying, hey, we can get you a lower rate, right? We have to think a little bit creative rather than just cutting price. OJ.
Hey, what's up, James? Just had a couple questions. It's a little different from I guess a typical situation. I have a house that I'm using as a live-in flip right now, and I have a
Okay.
pretty solid equity position on it. And I've got a couple quotes from contractors, and they all just seem just outrageous for what I'm trying to do. I'm not planning on selling it for probably about 2 or 3 years just for the tax benefits of it. But I'm trying to figure out, I guess, the best way to approach the project, because I know it's in Miramont, so it's kind of all over the place, and I'm
Okay,
just
yeah,
struggling
for
to figure
sure.
out what to fix, and yeah, just kind of go from there. So
Okay, so the first thing is, when you're meeting contractors out there, are you telling them that you're living in it?
yeah, I am.
Did they have to know that you're living in it while it's being renovated?
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. So I left out a very important detail. It's a 6 acre property, and there's two houses on it. One is like a mobile home, and I'm living in that, while the main home would be one that I would get renovated over the summertime and then move in afterwards. So yeah, I won't be living in that, but I'll be living on the property though.
Okay, so first piece of advice is tell them that you're flipping the house and you're not moving into it. Oh, the contractor will automatically bid you more when they know you're moving into it.
That's a good point.
like even if I bring out my guys that I've worked with for 20 years on things, and if they know it's like you would think it's the opposite, but they're like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to charge you a little bit more. Whereas flips, it's kind of like, no, we have to be at this budget or we can't make any money. And so they kind of pin themselves in. So I would not tell them that just to start.
Okay.
What was your original thought you were going to spend on the property?
So I knew the owner. So the property's like appraised value was 1.4, and I got it for 700. So my equity position's pretty solid on it. So yeah, I'm just paying the mortgage on it right now. And we're living on the property like it's our primary residence, so we're not like super stressed on anything. So yeah, we're just trying to figure out, I guess, the best way to maximize the value of remodeling the house to where
Okay.
when we go to sell it in a few years, it's just kind of even. I know that we don't have to do anything fancy to it, but I was considering blowing out a wall. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. I actually have a picture I can post here. 1 second.
And so here's my second piece of advice right
Yeah.
now is we don't want to bring a contractor out until we like have like two definite things that we want to have them bid, right? Because if we're ever on, I always say act as if like if there's a major problem with it, I'm always like, oh, that's not a big deal, right? Like it's always, even though I'm like, holy shit, looks bad. I never play it up like it's bad. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, well, is that a big deal? Why is that a big, like, it's just, because if I react the other way, they're going to charge me more. Same with if I go out there and I don't have like, maybe you want to do a couple options on the house, like go a little bit nicer, but also go simple. But we want to have two kind of written down plans because if we're kind of like guessing as we're walking through the contractor, and we all do this, they're going to charge us more.
Sure. Okay.
And
No, that makes sense.
so it's just the nature of the beast because they're like, oh, well, if you don't really know exactly what you want to do, you don't really know exactly what you want to pay either. And they're not, it's not because they're being bad people. They're just reading a negotiation. Like if I go meet with a seller and I'm like, so what do you want to sell for? Like, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm going to go, what do you think it's worth? I don't know yet. Maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. I'm going to go, okay, well, I can probably offer them a little bit less. And so we definitely want to do those two things first. Or at least create the scope of work, right? And I think this is okay. So everybody, if you pull up his link, this is kind of your floor plan you posted.
Yeah, so I went through with Polycam and just like did the whole floor plan. And I know that, so the contractors I have come out, I told them, I was like, hey, I would like to blow out this wall, open up the kitchen, have an island, just have like a more open floor plan because it's pretty archaic. It's got like a bunch of these small little rooms like you can see there.
Yeah, it's kind of like
And
your
then I was
50s style house.
Exactly. And then I was just going to do a full remodel on 2 bathrooms and then just new paint floor, just pretty much all cosmetic. I don't think I need to do anything like electrical or anything like that. It's got three prong outlets throughout the whole property. So I think it's probably good for at least not having to do a full rewire, but just trying to get your feedback on like, what do you think would be a reasonable thing to at least consider renovating in that area? And like, is it like what's going to hold up over the next couple of years just to be kind of a good Goldilocks, I guess, things to renovate in the property to when I go to sell it, it'll sell easier.
Yeah, so our big ticket, I'm guessing there's not a kitchen 1, 2, and 3, right? That's just kind of AutoCADed that way.
Yeah, so there's like a little den area, and then the kitchen it's really awkward. There's this huge industrial stove you can see there's that little section in the middle. That I was going to blow that out and potentially just move the range and everything over to where the cabinets and things are in the kitchen, and then just put an island there, and then just have an open floor plan for that whole little section there, where the living room, the den, and then there's like a small, I guess, living room with a fireplace awkwardly placed in that back left corner.
In the back left corner of the kitchen there.
It's called living room. So the living room, I guess, is
Okay, living room. Okay. Oh, okay. Where that kind of gap in the floor plan is that right? Or
yeah. So it's living room, other four, and then kitchen one, and then kitchen two, and then kitchen three is actually just a small little like mud room.
Okay. And then kitchen 2 is what again?
Kitchen two is the actual kitchen. So, and then that little red L, like seven shaped there, that's where the range is at. So it's like awkwardly placed there, separating
Oh,
the little
gotcha.
den. Yeah.
And then what's kitchen 1 again then? Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I should have labeled this better. Kitchen
No,
one's
no, no,
just like
you're
a little,
okay.
it's like a little den, I guess, secondary living room.
Okay, got it. Yeah, and that I definitely have seen this in time where you like walk in, you're like, oh wow, there's a lot of walls. And okay, so definitely bang for your buck. Let me see. I'm looking at this right now. Okay, first I'd like to know like what's your budget that you want to use on this house?
So
Dream budget.
my dream budget would be like 150,000 to do the two bathrooms, wall the wall, redo the kitchen, and then floor paint, and just kind of basic cosmetic.
Totally doable. Totally doable, I think, on this. And go, so what were your contractor bids back at?
They were nuts. So there was one that was called Royal. So this is before I had joined the group and stuff, and I was just doing it on my own. They quoted me 400,000 to do the whole project, but that also included vaulting the ceilings and I guess redoing the insulation up there. So I know that's supposed to be probably the biggest bulk of the expense. And then I just had a guy recently who I might use as my GC because he's okay with fixed bids. He's very easy to work with. He's okay with signing the construction contract and everything. So he's very reasonable, and he gave me a quote of 39,000 to do just the two bathrooms. And then that's me paying for materials.
All right, we're gonna help you drive your costs down, dude. We're gonna pay for your course 10x on this house alone. Okay, so this is the steps we kind of want to do first. Is we want to mock a floor plan up, and so can you do me a favor? Can you post this floor plan in the Facebook page tonight?
Definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna mock up a floor plan for you. And then part of it is you have a lot of spans. See where all that red's going all the way through? That's a lot of posts you're taking out of one section. So those are going to be some pretty intricate framing details going on. And so we can strategically leave some posts in some place that will cut your framing way down before you quote. I'm kind of thinking that kitchen should be in the kitchen 1 area. As you come into like a kitchen, an island, and then it looks out into a more open. You have a lot of space in this house, man.
And actually, it's a crazy location. So I know you don't love this, but it's ECA because there's a creek that runs through the backyard. But there's a backyard that's got a creek right there. So like it's got old windows that aren't double pane. So there's like I can post more pictures of it too to give you a more definitive outline of it. But I think there's a lot of really good potential, and it's just a very unique property in itself. So
No, it's just it's 1950s, and it's just got a lot of space. Like your living room's really big. Your other 4 is a big space, but then what I think we want to look at doing on this is to maximize the value. We want to get this in. If you're going to spend 150 grand, we want to turn this into like a 4-bed, 3-bath house. Or at least, what's your septic out there? Is it a 3 or 4?
that I'm not too sure. I'd have to find out on that.
Okay, well, either way, we'll make a 4th bedroom, but we might call one a craft room or an office with a bedroom and a window in it. But God, you got a lot of space here to kind of work in, because I do feel like the kitchen should kind of go where the kitchen 1 is, because you're going to come through your front door and go into a massive space, then get back to your kitchen area. Whereas if you kind of repurpose that a little bit, you could make your kitchen in kitchen 1 and then make your formal dining in kitchen 2 and then open up other 4 and living room to a big open space.
Wow, that's actually really good because having that dining room back by the windows where the creek and the garden are would be probably really nice looking too. So, oh wow, that's yeah, I didn't think about that. That's really good info.
Well, and then there's so much space there too. We actually might be able to make a dining room and like a little office too off that section. And because if we're gonna spend the money, we want to maximize the spaces. Um, and I'm looking at where you can put your primary. You got your bathrooms right there. Those are gonna be okay. We can work inside those, and then turn other two into like a primary suite. Because I think that you have a cool big piece of property, but we need to make sure it's a 4-bed, 3-bath, proper primary suite, and then the kitchen. And if you come in your front door, your kitchen's all in. You have a nice big island. We can work posts around those islands too to catch that load, so your framing goes down. And then we can carve off a little dining, because it's like, if we're going to spend that money, let's create the spaces that everybody wants. And then you would have 3-bed, 2-bath on the other side of the house. You'd have a living room that's honestly really big, other fours big, where we might even be able to like create like a secondary bonus space. We can maybe look at what we can do in living room 1 to create kind of a dual, like 2 different living spaces. Because it is nice to have 2 spaces, one for the kids, like a family, and a living room. But you have so much room there that could be framed over fairly easy and still have a nice big open concept floor plan. And I think one of the keys is not taking out all these walls. We're going to open them up, but then post up. Were you planning on vaulting for sure, or is that not?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like all the comps that I looked at in my area, like within like a 10-mile radius down to like kind of Renton and Maple Valley, it was like 5-bedroom, 4-bath or 4-bedroom, 3-bath. That was kind of what the typical thing I was seeing that was within the same range.
Yeah, and so I think what we can do here is you have enough space to get a nice big open kitchen, dining, living, an office/bedroom, and another 3 bedrooms. Because if the comps are all in the 5 range, we want at least to be hitting a 4-bedroom house at that point.
Gotcha.
And I think if you don't kind of make some of these tweaks, I think you're going to spend the 150,000. But we can do it in a way to where you still get the open concept kitchen, the dining space, and have the right bedroom bath count. And so if you can post pictures in the floor plan up, I'll take a look at it, and we can kind of look at that. I'll kind of give you some suggestions on the layouts. And then what we want to do first, though, is we're going to have you practice writing out a scope of work for what you want accomplished. Then we want to meet the contractors out there.
Sweet. Sounds good. No, that's good. So yeah, I'll post that when I get home here in a little bit, and yeah, kind of regroup on that. But I appreciate it. That's mind blowing already. So I'm glad I asked that finally.
Well, and the cool thing is there's actually some good contractors in our group too that I know could look at doing this work. And then we're going to look at how did you meet those first 2 contractors?
I actually just found them online. It was like on, I think, like a Facebook ad was one of them, or Instagram or something. And then same
Oh
thing.
yeah, if they're paying for ads, those are not the guys we want. They're going to be real expensive.
Yeah.
And so we're going to create the scope of work, and then we're going to go find the right contractors for out there. And that's going to be, finding some flip contractors, getting some referrals from inside of our group, tapping into the network, and then also, um, you know, um, just tracking down. So, I might even have you drive a little, because there's a lot of projects going on out in Covington and Maple Valley. And by doing that drive, you might save yourself $100,000 off your bid.
Yeah, actually, there's a property in downtown Issaquah that there looks like they're turning into like townhomes or something, and there's no advertisements or anything outside. So I need to look at I guess the permits on that. See if I get that info. I don't know if that's a good one to look at too as well potentially. But
That'll be a different type of contractor. So we're gonna, I'm gonna, we're gonna take this in steps. First is I'm gonna give you feedback on the plan, see what works for you guys, and I'm gonna kind of put it together in a cost-effective way, or give you some suggestions on it. Then I'm gonna have you write out your scope of work, and then we're gonna go look for the contractor. I would stay away from the development one. They're gonna be a lot more expensive.
okay, good to know. Sweet. Well, thanks again so much, James. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and just you guys, for everybody, when we go out there, and I know like even Alex on the call, she went out there and bid out her flip a few times. And then she ended up getting the guy to do the work after like the first couple attempts, you guys, because if we have a clear vision going out there, the contractor can see that and they're not going to bid us as high. Because if we don't quite know, they're going to think that we don't know, and they're going to try to charge more. So Hannah, how are you?
Hi, James. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing good. I just climbed off the roof now, so I'm doing a little better.
Yeah. Um, James, I have a question. Like, this is a contractor question. Like, this conversation came up today with my general contractor.
Yes.
So we have an agreement to pay as a 15% fee on time and material.
Okay.
So today he brought up saying that I have to pay 10% tax on the labor portion. Is it? I'm not sure whether do I have to pay for the labor portion, like tax on the labor portion or not.
That is definitely more of a question for an accountant on that because it kind of depends on how he's billing out. Um, so when he gave you that time and materials, you were paying. So when he gave you, has he had you pay invoices so far when he submitted them in?
Yes, I'm paying. It's basically hours are updated in the sheet like Google Sheets, and I've been paying him accordingly, like for every 2 weeks or like for a month.
Okay, and then was tax ever listed on those
No,
invoices at all?
no.
Okay. And then on your agreement for time and materials, did it say any? You guys, this is where the details, and trust me, we've all done this. I especially have. The details, like when I talk about Project Flip, like, okay, guys, make sure these things, we want to look for every little item because they can always, it's whatever's on written down is kind of what's going to be owed. So when he gave you the time and materials, did he just say, hey, did he say an hourly rate that it was? Or, because if someone quotes me $65 an hour or $50 an hour, it's going to be $50 an hour plus tax.
Yeah, it's per hour.
Okay, it's per hour, and he gave you an hourly rate?
Yes. So he provides me like number of hours and how many people worked. It's
Okay.
so our initial agreement was just to pay for the labor and material. We didn't discuss anything about the tax for labor.
Okay, and if it wasn't put on there that like the hourly rate is, $25 an hour, including tax, technically you're going to owe that tax.
Okay.
And so what I would do though is have the conversation with the employer and go, hey,
Okay.
look, we obviously we have a miscommunication here. And because no matter what, he's going to technically be right. And so where I'm going to always try to say, hey, look, I thought tax was included. Um, was it a pretty easy project, like you paying him, and it was a pretty easy project to work through?
No.
Okay, was there a lot of friction there?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
no. It's easy to work with him. Like there's no friction between the general contractor. No.
Okay, so you guys have a pretty good open
Yes.
communication. Okay, that's good. And so that's where because technically he's right,
Okay.
but try to, say, hey, look, I'm sorry, I did not know this was included. I thought this was your hourly rate and that you took care of the taxes. We've obviously had a miscommunication here. What can we do to resolve this?
Okay.
And he might just offer to help out. I don't know him. And,
Okay.
sometimes he can't either. He's gonna be like, dude, I'm tight on this. But I would put it out that way because that's going to give you the best way to get a little bit of a discount off this. I would say technically he's right because if it's not
Okay.
listed on the contract and it's not spelled out, the sales tax
Mm-hmm.
would be applied on top.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to find out like whether if it's true or not. Like I'm okay to pay the tax. It's just I didn't know whether it was even the right way to do that or not.
Yes, he would be right.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
going forward, always have that specified. Like if a contractor doesn't have tax on their bid, I'm like, hey, you got to make sure that tax is broken out for me, or
Mm-hmm.
that tax is included, and then I write in the tax amount on top of it, like what they would owe.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And sometimes that's a negotiating tool. If he's like, hey, we're doing time and materials, I think it's gonna be about 100 hours. And you're like, man, I thought this was gonna be 80 hours, but if we can do it for 100, you just got to make sure the tax is included down here. but
Mm.
always do it up front.
Okay. Yeah, I think I made an assumption saying that like the labor doesn't get like any sales tax, so
Yes, it if you had a reseller permit or a you could, or it was like a contract, because they have to always pay the state tax no matter what on that, and so you're going to be paying the tax on that typically.
okay, sounds good. Okay. Yes. And also I have a question in terms of like so I purchased a project thinking for a particular ARV, but like as the market is slow down, like do I have to change the specs to bring down the value, or like what would be your suggestion on that?
I think that's a very good question. So sometimes in a slow market, guys, there's two things. Okay, do we think we're going to sell it for less? We want to have our broker pull the most active pendings in the area and go, okay, what did they sell for and what did they have? We're going to audit that and go, okay, do we need to make changes on our current pricing right now? Can we swap those things out? Those are these last minute changes that you can save money on. Like, can I go to a little bit cheaper floor? Can I swap out the cabinet colors? Can I swap out the appliances and bring the budget a little bit down? But we want to look at the comps to make sure that you're not spending less just to spend less. Because if they have the nicer things, you still need to go with that plan. The other thing I do is touch base with the broker and say, what houses are pending right now? And if I'm looking at the pendings and I'm going, okay, well, these are really, really nice and they're actually went a little bit higher in price, I might actually spend more money on my house to get it moved. And so we want to follow the data on this. With your broker, what have you pulled? Where's your home located?
Edmonds?
Okay, Edmonds, yes. And Edmonds is slow right now. Linwood is slow, Bothell slow, Shoreline slow. Especially if you're like above, it's kind of like above one right now, or it's just
Okay.
slow in that pocket. And those were hot selling pockets like 6 months ago. That one, you know, like when we were just looking at those comps, we want to pull the most pending and let's see what they have. I don't think you're going to be spending too much less on your finishes because you also have other houses like even Surge's house on market that's really nice.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to come in cheaper on that, right? Because what was your target ARV?
1.2.
1.2. Okay, so we're all in the same bucket here, all three of us. I would say don't spend less on that specific house just because I obviously know the area fairly well and I have projects there too. We didn't cut any costs down because there was no opportunity to. And then the sales that I did see sell for less, they were quite a bit less, but quite a bit more dated. And so that's kind of what we want to look at right now. On that price point, like if I looking at Surge's house looks really good. Maybe talk to the broker on this one and go, what little features can we add to give it some flavor to the house without spending a lot of money? Like, sometimes like I'm doing it on a house right now. I'm like, I walk through it. I'm like, God, this house just seems a little boring. And so we went and bought that shiplap paneling at Home Depot because it's not very expensive. It's like $25 a sheet. And I had someone nail in a shiplap wall and then we painted it white. And it probably cost me like $900 for the wall, but it popped the whole area out.
Okay.
And so little things that we can do to add some flavor and character and some personal charm without not spending a lot of money, just little things. Who's your broker on that one?
Renee?
Okay, Renee. Okay. So I'm going to call Renee and I'm going to call Vlad too and go, okay, let's walk it together, bring the pendings and the actives, and what little things can we do to just spruce this up just a little bit to add some charm, but not spend a lot of money. Because adding charm a lot of times won't cost money. It's just that little personal touch. And sometimes that little personal touch is what the people, the few buyers are falling in love with.
Okay. So particularly for landscaping, so we are doing fire pits. The comps that I've seen has like just flat grass, nothing but more. They have like deck, but like they don't have any fire pits or any gravel. So do you think it makes sense for me to add a fire pit and gravel around it?
What's the cost on it?
Cost on it is like 2,000. That includes swing set, fire pit, and 150 square feet of gravel.
I don't think that's a bad idea because it kind of that might be the special thing. Can you post some pictures of the backyard?
Uh, haven't done it yet, but we have an idea of how we want to do it, so I'll post that. Or do you want the current pictures of the backyard?
I do the current because I'd like to see, is that costing the right amount of money? Because sometimes, yeah, I mean, a swing set and stuff that could be $2,000, but like sometimes a fire pit's very cheap because it's just like putting in some gravel. You can buy one of those fire pits on Amazon for like $300 or $200. I'd go with like a $400 one, but that's
Okay.
not very expensive, so it might be able to save you some money. But if you're also putting in a swing pit and all these things, that's where the cost could add up.
Okay. Don't have the right picture.
Let's see. Maya, I see your question. Creating an SOC. I definitely have a couple videos of those posted, but I will do another one on the Zoom training. And then also we have that on Project Flip, but I will do that when I'm creating the scope of work on my next zombie house for the show. I will flip on my Zoom and walk you guys through the photos as I'm doing so. So it'll be a little bit more recent.
Well, the reason I asked James is because, when you walk into a house, there are so many different options that come to your mind. So it's, I mean, I've had really hard time to just pin it down on one thing.
Yes. And so when we start the scope of work, we start with the comps first, and so that's how I'll start my scope of work. Because when we build these scopes of work, it's always about what am I trying to create and copy the comps. And so the comps tell me my scope of work. And then as I walk, so we always want to be prepared with the comps and pictures before we go to them.
Okay.
Then as we get to the house, it will give us a little bit more clarity on what to do. And what I will do is I'll grab one of the videos. I'm going to stick it in the Facebook page, but I will do a fresh one on the next house I'm walking through with kind of step by step on that.
Wonderful. Thank
All
you.
right. Yes, no, you guys, it's always good because also how we do scopes of work can change, right? So, I like your yard, Sahana. You're keeping that little tree right there, right?
No, actually it's dead. So
Oh,
we
it's
are
dead.
removing that. Yeah.
Oh, bummer. I kind of like it in a weird way. No, but if it's dead, it's got
Yeah.
to go.
Initially we thought like it would bloom and it would be nice. We wanted to do fire pit there, but like it's completely dead.
Okay, and is that kind of where you're putting your fire pit?
No. So in the second picture where you see a tall tree,
Yes.
that's where we want to do the fire pit.
Okay, yeah. No, you have a really nice yard. I mean, it's deep. It looks actually pretty private too. Um, um, I mean because you have a pretty cool backyard there, I think it's going to
Mhm.
make a lot of sense to play into that, right? Because that's kind of a selling feature. I can tell you your yard's better than mine I have coming up in Edmonds. And so, I think that could be a good call because that could be kind of the difference. But that's where, I want you to walk it with Renee and go, okay, what is the pros and cons? Because you guys, no matter what we have, no matter what we renovate, there's always a pro and a con to our house versus someone else's, whether it's the neighbors, the yard, the street, the overall layout, the window schedule. And so I want to focus on what's pending and what's recently active and how do we look at the pros and cons. But you have a good yard. I would say it's definitely better than mine. Enhancing that is what's gonna kind of separate your house from some of the others,
Okay.
And so that's what I would try to play into a little bit on that. But we want to have our broker out there because, the thing is, whoever's selling it, they also might go, you know what, I love your yard, but I think we can just do these things, but this will really enhance it this way.
Okay.
And
Renee actually did come up with having the gravel and the swing set.
yeah, and I think this is a good idea. You're fixing that little fence that's busted to the left too.
Yes, we are redoing the fence. Yes.
Okay. And that's something that you could try to save some money on if you can somehow patch it together and paint it. That would be a lot cheaper.
It was all it's falling apart. Like they had like so many posts that they had to keep it on to keep it intact.
Okay, then definitely fix it. But I think you're making the right call on this though, because like if
Okay.
I look at anything active for sale, I know I don't have a fire pit. I know I don't have a swing set. I don't have a huge like staycation yard. Um, the comps that we were just looking at didn't have the same thing either.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's probably a good thing for you to play into because your house is on that side street too, right?
It's close to Olympic View Drive, like on 72nd.
Okay.
It's basically border of Linwood and Edmonds.
Okay, yes. And that's kind of the same pocket that's a little bit slower right now.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's not just that pocket, it's Linwood, Edmond, that whole area. It's shoreline, it's all slow. But I would try to emphasize that yard. I think that's a good call on that.
Okay. Okay. I'll definitely go ahead with that then. And also, I'm posting one more photo. This is basically the brick in the office room. It's backside of the fireplace. Like, what do you think would be the best way to enhance that? Hello?
That fireplace, the backside of it right there.
Yes, it's basically the office flex.
So is it enclosed or is it more like the fireplace is kind of the divider right there?
Our fireplace is practically in the living room, but this is the backside, and they have like a little. They've converted deck to office space actually.
I don't know if you need to go too crazy on that. A cheap way to do it would be to buy that shiplap paneling.
Okay.
And then, because, talk to your contractor, but you also might be able to just apply that right to the brick to where you don't have to spend money on drywall either. And
Okay.
so I would go with like a thin veneer paneling because it might also save me on drywall to where, it's almost like I'm upgrading it for no money. Now, if they still have to do the drywall anyways on it, I would just do the drywall paint an accent color and not spend too much money on that.
Okay. Okay.
Because that's where we want to be real conscious about what we upgrade. And I think the yard is a good one, some other features, but, ask the contractor if they can put on paneling that will break it up for the same cost as drywall. If he says, no, it's more, then I would just do drywall and paint it an accent color.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank. That answers my question, James. Thank you so much.
No, for sure. You guys, these are all great questions. So, and you guys, again, I'm really this nationwide lending stuff. It's very much moving in progress, and that is one thing I'm trying to put together. Is just this refi once they're done with the house, where you can get cash back and lower your rate. Because you guys, to shoot everyone straight, it's going to be a long July. At least that's my thought. Like things are not going to be selling that quick, and what we don't want to do is panic and just start cutting price everywhere. The home is worth what it's worth, but I think everyone just needs to prepared. It's kind of like in 2008, you guys. We used to be prepared for 90-day market time sales every house. That's just, and if we sold it before 90 days, it was a major win. And um, and we would always sell them, and that was in a very declining market. But we had to give it the time, and then if we had the right plan, the right price, and we had the time, buyers would pick our house. Jason, and then pretty. Sorry. Oh, Jason, can you hear me? Pretty.
Yes.
Okay.
Y-
What's
Pretty,
going
you
on,
want to
Brad?
go first?
Yeah,
I
I can
thought.
go first if you're doing something else.
I think he's saying ladies first. So
Yes, ladies first. Ladies first.
good job, Jason. I would have been very disappointed if you didn't say that. How are you?
Yeah.
How's your project in Colorado?
Project is going. It slowed down again. So I had a conversation with my contractor yesterday about it. Like, hey, what's going on? Uh, he said he's gonna try to speed it up. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, did he give you an answer why it's slow?
He said he was waiting for like we are pulling permits for the new bathroom, so he was like he was just waiting for permits. But I'm like, you can do other things that doesn't involve that. And then like he just started making some excuses about uh his framer couldn't come at the right time and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, stay on him. Good job. He might have a valid. I like it. He had a valid excuse, but there's also a different answer too. So good job.
Yeah. Uh, one thing I wanted to ask was about my broker. I'm having some trouble with my broker also. She has literally been like MIA from 3 weeks. Uh, and I don't know if I set the right expectations initially. So just wanted some advice on like how to better handle the situation.
So MIA, like she hasn't called you back?
No, she hasn't even reached out. She's not like she is nowhere to be found.
Hey, have you reached out to her?
I reached out to her before, like I just got really busy too, so I haven't like been in conversation. That's why I was saying like it's kind of like my fault also. But
Well, I think, what I would say, like, so when you brought her on, did you set any kind of expectations with her as far as like checking in for market updates?
I did ask her that I needed like regular market updates. I didn't actually specify when and how, what interval I need them.
Okay, so because you do like this broker, right? She helped you get, if I remember right.
She did help me initially, but she did cause some drama in between too. So
How does she
yeah.
cause drama?
Uh, yeah, I just asked
Okay.
her some question about like yeah, there was some uh issues that were happening, and then she was all like, "Oh, I'm being taken advantage of" and stuff like that. I don't.
Oh, wait, she was saying that about you?
Yeah,
That's a weird thing to say to a client, but okay, that's a little strange. But so what I would say is it's not, you know, I'm a broker and an investor, right? And so when I want brokers to do things a certain way, but I always set the tone with them early, like, hey, this is what I need from you.
mhm.
Um, and this is what I don't need from you. And if you could just get me this information, um, you, this would be great. And I want you to walk by the house at least once a month so you know what's going on with the site. I want to get your feedback. I'd like you to walk at the framing. So I kind of give them those expectations up front, and why they're important. If I sell a property to somebody, and I do this sometimes where I sell it to a very experienced flipper, we put them on auto comps, but they don't say much until they're about ready to be done. And they don't really want me to deal with it anyways. They kind of have their own process. And so if we don't say, if they didn't tell me, and I probably wouldn't call them much in general throughout the process until they were getting close, because that's just kind of what I think they want and how it goes until they tell me otherwise. And so I would say it's a good time to just have her come meet you at the property and walk it with her and just say, hey, look, going forward, there's been a little bit of market changing going on. And so, what I'd like you to do is if, can you put me on auto comps, but then, I want to jump on the phone with you, or can you send me your feedback, not just the comps, like, every month or every 2 weeks, can you give me this information? Like how many houses went pending, what price points they're in, how many offers they got, how many showings they got, just so we can be prepared as we get in the listing, and give her like the list of information that you want and have a good conversation with her. Because if she doesn't know, she doesn't know. And, um, and then from there, if she doesn't then fix that problem, we want to maybe explore a different broker.
Okay.
And you guys, again, investors, you guys are the clients, right? And the clients are the clients. And if a client tells me they want something done a certain way, and I'm a broker, I'm like, I really don't understand this. It's not, I'm never going to say that I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go, well, you know what? Maybe you should hire a different broker if you really want all these things, because that's just not what I do. Like, to be honest, if a client goes, James, I want you to sit open houses every weekend, and it has to be you to get this listing. I have a team that does that. We train that way. We've sold thousands of listings where my team's sitting in the open houses. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I have to decline this listing because I just can't offer you that. And that's okay. I'm making a business decision. But you guys are also making a business decision of, hey, if they want this business, you need them to do it this way, and make that list very clear to them. And if they can't do it, then it's probably good to find someone else.
Okay. And
But and just have a nice conversation with her when you're walking the property. And depending on how that goes, then you can kind of make your adjustments from there.
okay. And like you were telling Alex about like design involvement, like at what level should a broker be involved in the design?
Well, the broker doesn't, a lot of brokers don't know design, right? We train ours that way. I always try to, like, when I'm out trying to look for brokers, like when I'm looking in Arizona right now, or even in Newport Beach, when I'm interviewing brokers, I like to know they have that background because they can help with it. And I always ask. And so I kind of set that up front rather than after when I buy. And so if this broker doesn't have a lot of design talent, that's okay. But what a broker should know is the flow of a house. What's going to sell it well? Does your layout feel good? Is it going to be attractive to the buyer group that is going to buy that way? Because if they don't know design, they just don't know design. And the good thing is, at ProjectRE, we have all these built-out spec books for you too. Have you looked through a few of those?
Yeah, I have.
So, I would get her feedback, maybe print out the 3 that you really like and see which ones she likes. Because she might not be good at picking colors, but she could go, I really like this one. I think this feels awesome. And she'll at least give you some feedback.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she did help me a little bit with the layout initially when we were trying to decide stuff. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure how much involvement should a broker have in the design, like should they know exactly what sells in this market?
I think it's, and I would ask her, hey, do you have any background in design? And I would do that more in the interviewing up front when I'm talking to a broker. Because some brokers are really good at finding deals, but there's no way to ever let them give me design.
Yeah.
And so when I work with that broker, I already know that we're designing it ourselves and we're not going to be asking them for feedback. But they're really good at finding me that deal. Then Another broker I work with in a different state, she's amazing at design and construction. But most of the time I'm out trying to find my own deal for her because I don't think she brings me the best deals.
Okay.
And so I kind of like pick and, you know, like as I'm talking to people I like working with, I'm going, hey, what's their talent? Because they all have a purpose too. And so, you know, and then if I find a really good deal, they're not great at design, but I at least, you know, I would still run, hey, this is what I'm doing here. Do you think this is sellable? Would you make any suggestions on the changes?
Okay.
But if she is good at design, that could be something fun for you guys to work on, right? And then if she says she's good at design, also go like, hey, can you send me some listings that you've helped on the design on? Because you want to make sure they're actually good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. When I'm having a conversation with her, I'll ask her about that.
Yeah, like even with my most brokers that I work with, I kind of design a lot of the house and I go, hey, what do you think? And they might give me a little bit of feedback, and sometimes I totally ignore it. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, you know what? That was a very valid point. And so they may not be good at color. Like my broker in Newport Beach, I think he's good at a lot of things. Maybe design is it his strongest point. So he didn't pick any tile, didn't pick any colors, didn't do any of that. But he had some very good, just like these little subtle things because he had sold luxury real estate. That's why I used him. He's like, well, if you add this here, it gives it this custom feature. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. And so I would, you know, it's like whoever we're working with, we can kind of mold around that too.
Okay. Okay. And then one more thing I wanted to check is if I'm hiring some subcontractors apart from my contractor, like should I be asking for W-9 from every subcontract?
Yes, anybody who's an individual company needs to have its own W-9. Oh, is your contractor paying them or are you paying them?
Me, I'm paying them.
Then I would get a W-9 from them
Okay. And
because that's for your taxes at the end.
okay. And I can ask them like, hey, before I give you the final payment, I need this W-9.
Yes, correct. And I like to get the W-9 like as I give them their first check. That's always like as I bring them their first deposit, I bring the W-9. I'm like, hey, can you sign this real quick? Or
Okay.
we have our contractors pick up our checks at our office a lot because they want them right away. And then our
Mm-hmm.
front desk lady has a stack of W-9s for them ready to go. It's like, here you go. It's like when they sign out the check, she has them sign the W-9.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Yes, no, for sure. Jason,
What's up, James?
hi buddy, how you doing?
I'm good. I just got done walking my Kirkland flip, the one that Tiana sold me.
Yeah, this is a good first little flip for you, dude. Not a lot of rearranging to do.
Yes. Have you seen it?
I went through all the photos and everything on it.
Oh, nice.
Yes, yeah, I always look at everything. Yeah, so I was like, oh, this is good. Not a ton of layout changes, which is great.
Yep. Yeah, so I actually have a couple question for you on that flip. I shared a couple photos in the chat.
Yep, I'm looking at them right now. I see a utility sink.
Yes, that's the downstairs. We're gonna um like where it comes off of stairs right there, we're gonna make that an entrance and then block off the wall. And then we're gonna make the original laundry space a wet bar now. And then we're gonna fit like a powder room plus the washer and dryer. We're gonna try to fit in that room over there.
Okay, so here, so you have yeah, because you have a laundry set up already, and it was like in a little closet. It looks like a tuck-in closet, basically.
Yep.
And then you're gonna frame it to the corner and bring it to that wall where the door frame is. Is that right?
I'm sorry, say that again. I got
Um,
lost.
so so where there's like carpet and linoleum, right? The linoleum is kind of like an L shape.
Yep.
You're gonna frame that wall. Are you gonna square that out and bring the wall kind of in the same line as the closet that's there now and kind of finish it so it's a much bigger room? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think that's right. And then you have so much space because that's your bathroom downstairs too, right?
Yep.
I think you have what's the length of that room?
Um, Honestly, I don't know.
Okay, so post the length of the room. What I would do on this, because it will be cost effective too, is you leave your toilet and your sink where they are
Okay.
because you can swap that sink out for a vanity.
Uh-huh.
Then what you could do is you can put your tub on the opposite wall of that. And so we're going to want to put a little door into there, and then I would frame the washer dryer as its own separate space because that's just it's worth more when people have a bathroom and a laundry, and it's not going to cost you very much. I mean, you're talking about like 1 2x4 wall that has to go in.
Okay.
And so I would split that into two parts to where it's a laundry and a bathroom. Because it you don't have much framing to move there. Like that closet's not load bearing right there.
Uh-huh.
And
Then where would I put the wet bar? Because the wet bar was going to go where the laundry is.
but then how are you going to get a tub in there too?
We were only gonna do a sink and a toilet plus um washer and dryer.
Okay, is there a bedroom down there?
No.
Okay, you know what? Then I think you're good actually. You don't need the shower down then.
Okay.
And so what I would do is put the washer dryers on the opposite side there because you do have
Uh-huh.
the room, and so that wall where that corner is going to probably come back probably 2 feet there,
Uh-huh.
and then you're going to frame it straight. Man, but you know what? Cost wise. I kind of need the length of the room because there actually might be a cheaper way to do it by just moving the washer dryer over a little bit, and then you don't have to do as much moving of utilities. Because if we put it on the opposite wall, you're gonna have to bring your plumbing, your venting, everything to that wall and then run it to the outside.
Uh-huh.
And so
J
if you get me the dimensions, it might be cheaper. And then we also want to look at the comps, like how big does the wet bar need to be? And it might be also worth the expense. So, because what's the target price on this one?
1.3
Okay, well,
in Fin Hill, like
okay.
1,500 square feet, split level.
Okay. So 1,500 square feet, 1.3, which is definitely reasonable in that zone. I kind of want to look at the comps too and see what the bonuses are like because I do like that's going to be a younger buyer there. So a little bit cooler wet bar is going to go a long way. How are you doing on your budget right now?
Pretty good.
Okay. If
Yeah.
it was me, perfect plan, I'd frame that wall back 2 feet, put the washer dryer on that wall so they face the toilet room and
Uh-huh.
the laundry. But you're going to need minimum at least probably 8 feet in that room because you have basically 30 inches for your toilet. You want at least 3 feet in between your toilet and your washer dryer, and your washer dryer is going to be like 2.5 feet back.
Uh-huh.
And then run the wet bar just on that strip on that back wall right there. And the good thing is you do have plumbing in that wall from the old washer dryer that they can route down.
Right. Okay. James, can you see the second photo? I sent a total of 5 photos.
Yep.
If you click on the second one, you see you can see like the plans that me and Megan and Tiana we jot up together.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm sorry. I got to download these. That's why they didn't show.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no. You're totally good. 20 feet. Yeah, so where your washer dryers are right now, dude, the problem is your sink's gonna be like right in front of your dryer, so you can't really move your dryer your dryer down. And so I think the washer dryer need to be on that purple wall right there.
Oh,
Or you're not gonna have the room to open it. Um,
gotcha.
but I'm kind of looking at this space and I'm like, is it better to put in like an office bedroom and a full bath? That's a little tight. We might want to look at comps again on this because a 4 bed's always going to be good, you know?
Uh-huh.
But the price point, I don't think you actually need it as much. But I'm like, if I had the opportunity and I can make it like a versatile room and then get the bath in, then you'd be a 4.3, which is really attractive to a buyer.
Oh.
But yeah, your washer dryer for I think this. Wait, but then you have a slider right there too.
Yep.
So you yeah, that's not gonna work that well. What needs to happen is if the purple wall goes, you're gonna need to move that wall over about 2 feet. Then you want to have your wet bar running right down that purple wall. Not you don't want to run it widthwise over towards your slider. It's gonna be too small. You want to run your wet bar from that purple wall down, so then it goes out that way. Because that wall needs to be moved over 2 feet to get your washer dryer in, and then run the wet bar on the back side of that wall, not towards the slider. Does that make sense?
Oh. So okay, so the purple wall, if you're looking at the picture, are you saying move 2 feet to the left or to the right?
You're gonna have to move it 2 feet to the left to make your washer dryers fit.
Got it. And
And
then run a
then
wet bar against it.
against it, because then also it's a little cheaper because you're fishing the wiring and plumbing right off the same wall your washer dryer's on. So they don't have to move it, you know. So
Oh.
it's definitely more cost effective to do it that way too.
Uh-huh.
And I would that's going to give you a much more functional like if you're going to do it, let's make the wet bar functional. It's going to be too small, I think, this way. I
Got
think
it.
the way we're doing it, the laundry room's too small and the wet bar's too small. So if we move that wall over 2 feet, run it that way, you get a much bigger wet bar and
Yep.
you got a better laundry.
Holy shit. That's genius.
I don't it's and you guys, those are things we want to think about when we're laying things out too. Like if we can put when we make a wet wall that has electrical and plumbing on it right there, if we can butt the next bathroom to it or a wet bar to it, it's always going to save you a little bit of money.
That's perfect. Um, okay, and then I would still have the entrance to the half bath coming right off of the stairs you see in the photos. That's okay, right?
Let's see. So it's downloading. Okay. And you were saying upstairs?
No, downstairs.
Oh, down.
Still the wet bar space.
Okay. What was the question
Yeah.
again?
So we're gonna have the entrance to the toilet and bathroom coming right off of like where you come off the stairs.
Yeah, but
That's okay, right?
you can put it in the middle, right? So the door should be in the middle of the washer, dryer, and toilet.
Okay,
Yeah, because you
got
don't
it.
want to. Yeah, you don't want to move your toilets and stuff around for a door. So now, if you move that wall over,
Yeah.
that's going to give you your entry, and then put the door dead center in that. So it's like you can open the door, your toilet's to your left, and your washer dryer's to your right.
Oh, got it. Got it. Okay. I like that. I like that idea. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, then it kind of squares out your room. You got the what you need, and then and one thing I do want you to do though is I want you to hit Megan up though and Tiana
Yeah.
and go, hey guys, what do you think if we make a smaller bonus room and a bedroom and a bathroom downstairs instead? Let's check that
Bedroom.
comp. Because you could also just frame a bedroom, like a small bedroom, have a bonus with a slider that goes out, and then we put a tub in with a stack set washer dryer. And will that get more money? And you're really spending the same amount of money on that.
Okay. So you
And
want
so,
me to ask Tiana and Megan to what about framing a bedroom and plus a bonus room instead of
no,
just a huge living room?
it would be a bedroom and a small bonus room. Because when you frame the bedroom, it's just going to cut your bonus room in half.
Oh, okay.
But I just let's, because you're in framing, we want to double check that comp one more time.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so that's for the downstairs. For the upstairs, if you click, I have some questions about the master bedroom. If you click on the first photo, you'll see like the proposed change. Tiana will come up together. And I'll also send some photos of the current state of the master bath.
Okay,
Let me know if
yes.
you're seeing it.
Yeah, see the normal bathroom. That's the existing bath, right? The brown one.
Yep.
And then you're just going to update that one the way it is, right?
We're actually so we're gonna push that one out. Because right now there's only a single vanity in there. We're gonna try to get a double vanity in there.
How big is that room though?
If you click on the first photo, you likely have to download it. You'll be able to
Oh, yeah,
see.
yeah. Okay, yep.
Yep. But that bedroom is 145 square feet.
You know, that bathroom's only 710, dude. I would not go. You're going to want to just go with the biggest single vanity you can go with.
Okay.
A
You
double
see where the
vanity's not going to fit. Oh, is that where the new bathroom wall's going?
yeah. So I want to.
Oh, I got you. No, I got you. I should have gone over. So
Yeah.
where it says closet, that's not still a closet, or is that going to be a closet on that side?
It's gonna be like a little closet, and then where on the upper right side of the master bedroom, you see like a little pink drawing with the arrows
Yes,
pointing down. That's gonna be like the walk-in closet.
got it. Okay. And so the master bedroom's going to have a bigger closet and a smaller closet. And you're only, okay, so in the main bathroom, you're going to leave it a single vanity.
Yes.
With the double, yes. And so with the bigger bathroom now, because you're going to have basically a 10-foot wide bathroom, you're going to get a double vanity.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And you're doing a shower in that primary bath, right?
Yes.
Okay, yep. No, I think that's the right call.
Okay. Now the problem I'm running in is I met with my contractor for this very reason is the shower currently is only 30 inches. And I walked with Megan on Sunday. Megan said, you should talk to your contractor and see what would it cost to move the window in the bathroom over a little bit to make the shower at least 36 inches. And I met with my contractor and he's saying that if we move the shower over, then we'll have to push over the toilet and the double vanity. And that's not going to be enough room for, for the length to fit a double vanity in there because everything is getting pushed over. So should I just stay?
Well, no, because he could just move the window over. No, because you have 7'10" on that wall. If the shower's
Uh-huh.
3 feet, at 3 feet.